Hey, folks, welcome aboard. This is another episode of Automotivated with John Burkhauser, otherwise known as JB from Bolt On Technology. And we have a really special guest today, Joe Marconi. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing great, JB. Thank you for being here. It's amazing. So, really want to say thank you for all you do also. So, it's going to be great. It's going to be good.
Well, you're about to do a lot for people today. And the reason I say that, Joe, is because I thought about you since you basically have done the whole thing from the beginning and to the point of retirement. And the reason I mention this is because you've learned a lot of things that are real and they have to take place in order for a shop to one operate successfully, have success with what they're doing. I already said that, but we'll say it again. And the point is that you're able to get to retirement. And there's so many little pieces of this puzzle that I hope today, and we may split this up into a couple of episodes, that you're going to be able to give some people some feedback and some ideas of what they need to do to get themselves in a good place.
Yeah.
It's not strictly for retirement here, too, because a lot of what you're about to share is stuff that should be happening day by day in the shop. So a little history that you have, Joe. How long you been in the business? And
I've been in business. I was in business 41 years. I've been in the business, the automotive industry, since right out of high school, 1973, and tried going to college. That didn't work out for me, but I pursued a career in the automotive. It's funny too, because my father was in the automotive business, but I never thought about getting into that career until I went out on my own working in a repair shop. I actually quit college to pump gas at minimum wage at a local gas station. And that was the start of my career. And it was good. It was really good, really good. So I started as a tech, and then in 1980, I went into business for myself.
That's too funny, because I went to college too with no thought ever of being in this field. I went to school to be a meteorologist.
Okay.
And here we are now, but I have no regrets. It's all been very, very
No
good.
regrets. No regrets. It's been really good.
So, the bottom line with this, folks, is we're going to ask Joe a couple of questions and we're going to go through a number of things here and then take notes. Take notice, okay? Because these are things that I want to help people just like you do, Joe, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm here. So, Joe, you told me about expecting the unexpected. What does that mean?
Well, my father used to tell me, you know, maintain your home as if you're selling it tomorrow. And that means that everything you do in business, you have to be prepared for the unexpected, for when life throws you that curveball. We don't know what's going to happen. You could wake up, you could have a serious illness. One of your family members may have a serious illness. Something drastic may happen in your life that causes you to stand back and say, wow, what do I need to do about this? And do you have the proper insurance, the right planning in place? Do you know if your business could survive? Let's say you had to take off for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Would your family be okay? Would your shop be okay? Would everybody in your company know what to do? Is everything set as far as procedures, policies, checklists, things like that? So you have to. When you're in business, you have a great responsibility to people around you. And one of those responsibilities is to make sure that everything is taken care of in terms of, would everybody be okay if I were not able to do my job the way I'm doing it now? So, and you should really work hard to not be an absentee owner. I'm not suggesting that, but to remove yourself from the day to day in a sense where everybody knows what they're doing. You'll have a stronger business, more profitable, and if something does happen, you're better off surviving the unexpected than you would if you didn't plan at all.
That's a lot of great advice. What would be the first step for someone that hasn't thought this way? What would you think that first step would be? Because, you got to start somewhere.
Well, the first step would be is talk to the people around you. If you have a business coach, talk to the business coach. Tell them about you're concerned about the what ifs in life. Number two would be you got to sit down with your insurance agent, and then sit down with your accountant, financial advisor. Are you making the right steps so that everybody is on the same page here. Another thing, something really simple is to your loved ones, your spouse, your family members, do they even have the passwords to your bank accounts, to your cell phone, things like that? Those are the basic things you need to get done first. And then step two of that is to ensure that everybody in your company understands the purpose, the mission, the vision, and all the procedures, the day-to-day operations. Have you built a kind of a redundancy in your business so that people can step in if you're not going to be there? So those are some of the basic steps you need to work on right away.
I noticed that you said something about building your wealth and financial planning. All
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
that's probably got to be key to everything. So what could you offer along those lines?
If you could buy the property where your shop is now, I would really recommend buying it. If you can't, and you're looking to move, if that's in your future, then move to another location where you can buy the property. It's not always possible. I get that. I coach clients that don't own their property, and that's okay. But you have to build some sort of wealth, whether that's in retirement planning, a portfolio of investments. Does that mean buying property that maybe is a rental property somewhere else, some real estate? You need to understand that wealth planning there's no special time. It has to be right now. And I really don't care how old you are. You're never too young to start to think about what's going on in my future. So, building wealth and is critical. And the last component of that too is you got to be profitable. Your business, you have to know your numbers, understand your numbers, and you've got to be profitable enough so that, there's a reserve there. You build that reserve and continually build that reserve. That is critical.
And I guess another thing to take from the financial planning, the real estate part's the real big thing, but also, as you mentioned earlier, making sure that you have a team below you and working with a team. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't recognize anymore. Like you earlier said, don't be an absent owner and whatnot. Be part of the team, be in there. So what can you tell the audience about team building and how you work with teams?
Well, years ago when I first started, way back when, in the dinosaur age, it was, you ran a small shop. Basically, I'm from New York City, the Bronx. Basically, it's 2-bay, 3-bay shops. And the owner was right up here. The owner was the top of the pyramid. And everything kind of trickled down from the ownership. And the owner most of the times was the lead tech, and the shop foreman, and also the service advisor. The shop owner did everything. It's just not that way anymore. It's just too complex. A lot of shops today are 8 bays, 10 bays. But even in the smallest shop, you can only bring your business so far. You really can. And if you think you're going to rely on your ability, your talents, your expertise, it's only going to bring the business so far and you will plateau. You will not go to the next level. You need to combine efforts to build the team, to kind of combine the strengths of the individuals around you, their talents, their expertise. The more you build them, the more successful you make them, the more successful you're going to be. So we can't be arrogant to think that we know it all, we can do it all, we can even right down to your checklist and procedures. Get everybody involved with that. If you limit yourself to your brain power and to what you can do, you're going to limit your business also. It has to be a team effort. It has to be a collective effort from everyone in your team, especially your superstars. They will help you, find the direction and your pathway to future success.
And I think that brings to mind one of the hardest things for people to understand is having trusting that you can invest in your team to do what you want them to do. So how do you go about building trust? Well,
great question. It starts with having the right people. You have to have the right people. You can't motivate people if they're the wrong people. There's no way. And you can't trust people if they're not the right people. So you got to work really, really, really hard to surround yourselves with the right people. And then what you do is you develop this trust relationship by trusting them first. You have to believe in them. If you don't believe in them, if not the right people, it's not going to go anywhere. That relationship just is not going to grow. But once you have the right people around you and a superstar team, and it doesn't mean the most experienced either. A 22-year-old technician right out of trade school can be a superstar in the making. So I'm not talking about very experienced, high level people. I'm talking about, do they have that certain something about them that they can lend something to the organization? But once you have this team around you, you have to believe in them. You have to listen more, let go of the ego, be able to act on what's important to them. You see, it's not about us. It's about what's important to them. And once they realize that whatever they want out of life, they can get if they combine the goals of the company with the goals of the individual, then you have a powerful trust formula developing right there.
And that's another great point, Joe. Building trust and building a team that trusts each other. That's how you're going to succeed. Well, folks, this is episode 1 of Automotivated with Joe Marconi. Look for episode 2 and episode 3 coming soon, where Joe gives you lots of information on how to make your shop a success today and in the future.